Well, you guys have waited long enough, man. I've seen it in the comment section, and now I finally decided to talk about it. You have expedited this video because I wasn't going to make this video as early as now, but it is time to do so. You guys see the thumbnail. Shout out to the Lion King, man, Lions Royalty on Twitter, who did the Photoshop. I told him I was going to use it. I told him I was going to give him credit, and I appreciate that, man. Shout out, great Photoshop job. He always does the best Photoshop jobs when it comes to the Detroit Lions players and players who could be Detroit Lions players. He did one of Jamison Williams in the black before we even wore him. It was crazy. Just make sure you guys check out his Twitter account. So shout out to Lion King. Absolutely beautiful thumbnail, if I do say so myself. But now we got to talk about it, man. Maxx Crosby to the Detroit Lions. But before we do that, you know what time it is.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
You know what's crazy? What's crazy about this whole thing is I have been saying, I literally put out a community post yesterday about how long I've been talking about an edge rusher. I made a video saying, would the Detroit Lions regret the pass rush by committee? And you know what? I think they do. And I'm just going to warn you today that today is going to be, today I officially mark as Edge Rusher Day. October 3rd, 2024, and October 3rd, every day is going to be National Edge Rusher Day because today, all the videos that I have planned are about edge rushers. So I'm telling you right now, one is on our team and one is a guy that I think that we have the best shot of getting, but I'm going to save that for another video. So the Lions know that Lions fans, they want Maxx Crosby. Bring Mad Max to Detroit. That's all I've been hearing. And I know I make some videos, and some of them are based in reality, and some of them are based in fantasy. But this is one that I'm going to tell you I do not think is based off reality. We know that the Las Vegas Raiders, we already know Davante Adams, he's gone. He's no longer with the team. That is a done deal. It's just a matter of time as to when he finds a new team and what new team that's going to be. So, therefore, why would the Raiders give up Maxx Crosby? They're not going to do that, especially losing one, probably their best weapon on offense, and now they're willing to give up their best weapon on defense. So, you guys, I make a lot of rumor videos, a lot of pipe dream, fantasy, Mariah Carey videos, but this is one of them. If this were to happen, it would be something that I never could see coming, like real talk. And I know Maxx Crosby said if there was any team he wanted to play for, it would be the Detroit Lions. But based off of certain statistics and numbers, I just don't think that this happens, right? I got to be truthful with you guys. I don't think this happens. But let's look at it and let's talk about it anyway. And here is Maxx Crosby. Now, Crosby, great story, drafted in the 4th round of 2019. We know about his struggles and his battles, and great story, man. In he pretty much is healthy. This was the first time this season in his career, so it happened this season, that he missed a game in the National Football League. He's played when they were the Oakland Raiders. He played all 16, 2020, all 16, 17 in 2021, 17 in 2022, 17 in 2023, and he missed his first game in his NFL career last week, and he's questionable going into this year as well. Look at my man, a sack artist, 10 his rookie season, 7, 8, 12 and a half, 14 and a half, and now 3 on the season, all right? He is a sack artist. That's what he does. He is exactly the guy in motor, passion, and talent that I would be looking for. But there's a reason. In addition to the Raiders, they're already losing Davante Adams. Why would they do this? Unless they are having a fire sale. It's too early. They're 2-2. It's too early to have a fire sale, right? In my opinion. It's much too early. You're still in the running of things. I think if Davante Adams doesn't, if the stuff doesn't start coming out like it is or has, then I think he's still on the team, right? But obviously there's something going on there in that locker room with those guys, with the head coach, who may or may not be a mistake, and Davante Adams. But here's the main reason. The Raiders would be willing to do it, but here's the main reason that I don't think that he would be traded. All right. So Maxx Crosby signed a 4-year, $94 million contract with the Las Vegas Raiders, including $13 million signing bonus, $53 million guaranteed, and an average annual salary of $23.5 million. In 2024, Crosby will earn a base salary of $24 million and a workout bonus of $100,000 while carrying a cap hit of $30 million and a dead cap of $39. So a cap hit and the dead cap are both over $30 million. So the dead cap falls on the Raiders for sure. I'm not sure if the cap hit does as well. I think the cap hit would go to the new team under that, but the cap hit falls. So you're talking about a $40 million cap hit that the Raiders would take. In addition to that, he's making, all right, a base salary of $24 million. So that is well over $1 million a game if he were to become a Detroit Lion. Now, obviously, that is going down every single game. So right now, the guaranteed money is paid out by the team that signed him. The contract is under. So the guaranteed money, right? I just don't think this is going to happen. It's going to happen. Now, let me make a case for why it would happen. Lions have $28 million, $23 million, depending on what website you look at. He's under contract, all right? The Raiders have a potential out after this year, okay? $22 million if he's traded. This is what the new teams will be on the hook for. $22 million and $18 million. I believe that is just too much. It's just too much for Brad Holmes. I mean, listen, I make fantasy videos. I know that. It's part of the game. That's how this YouTube thing goes. And those are, I make videos of guys that I want on my team because why not, right? That's what the platform is for. This happening, though, I just don't know if we do this because here's why, all right? Maxx Crosby on the books for $22 million, all right, and $18 million if we trade it. So the good news and the one reason I could see this happening, real talk, is his, outside of his playing ability, is the fact that if he was to be traded, we have him for 2 more seasons. Now we're paying $18 million his last year, and we're paying $22 million the year after that. All right. One thing that Brad Holmes, listen, very critical of Brad Holmes. Is this something I would love for him to do? I would be. But here's why I don't think it happens. Brad Holmes right now, okay, and you'll hear me say this even in the video, I want Maxx Crosby. Like, I'm not gonna lie. But right now, I thought Brad Holmes was cheap. He's not cheap with the players that he drafts. He's not, right? We let Josh Reynolds walk for whatever reason. Yes, a Josh Reynolds mention. We let Jamal Williams walk for whatever reason, and we have definitely upgraded in that position. There's no doubt about it. But an outside guy, you can't really name one that makes this type of money. An outside guy that makes this type of money. Carlton Davis, the highest contract that he's given out, in my knowledge, was Cam Sutton, who made $11 million a year, and what a steal, a ripoff that was, meaning Cam stole from us, right? $22 million and $18 million for a guy that Brad did not draft. I just don't see it happening. Now, we already discussed Devontae. Devontae's not going to be on any team under the contract that he's playing now. All right. If somebody was, I'm not saying that the Lions do this, but if whoever does this is probably trying to make a Super Bowl push, they're going to trade for him on a loaner. It's going to be very similar to Odell Beckham Jr. in 2021 when the Rams traded for him. Right? That's how it's going to be. Did they trade for him and did he sign there? I can't remember. But it's going to be like that type of thing where they go in on a loaner. They're like, you know what? This is it. That's why I said the San Francisco 49ers. Because if they don't win a Super Bowl, rumors are people getting fired, right? All the money they invested in his team. But if you trade for Devontae Adams, you get him on a loaner deal, you win the Super Bowl, then it's all worth it. I mean, we can say what we want to say. We've never been there. We've never won one. What would you give to win a Super Bowl? Would you give 5 years of misery? Would you give 10 years of misery? I mean, we're used to it. We know what it is. Would you give up 5 or 10 years of misery to be in the history books one time? I would prefer a dynasty, right? But we can't talk dynasty till we win one. So I like the way Brad Holmes is doing it through the draft and stuff like that. He does have to take a risk eventually. Maxx Crosby could be a risk as far as not a risky player or a risky move, just a risky something that Brad doesn't do. He does not invest money like this in players that are not on his team. But would I want him on this team? Absolutely. Look at this picture, man. Come on, man. Shout out to the Lion King. You can see the logo right in the corner there. Would I want this guy on my team? Absolutely. Absolutely, man. And we're going to go over why, one of the reasons why, in a later video when we talk about the guy who plays for our team. But there's another guy that I've made a video about before that I think is probably one of the safest bets. I think this guy here, depending on what happens with his team, is the guy that the Lions really, he's right in that sweet spot, right in the sweet spot of edge rushers. He's very talented, but the contract is not as big as this one here. So do I think this happens? I would love for it to happen. I just don't think it does. I just don't think, because the Raiders have to be the Raiders hold all the power here. They're not going to trade for a guy or trade a guy away when they're literally giving their best offensive player away. They're not going to give their best defensive player away. And then at what cost? At what cost is I'm all for trading away first round picks. We are at that point right now. We're competing for Super Bowl. We're in competition. We're in contention. Eventually, you're going to have to start doing that. So I'm all for that. I just don't think it happens based on the money that he's owed for the next 2 years. But also, I could see it happening if Brad is willing to take a risk, get outside his comfort zone, think outside the box, because Maxx would be on our team for 2 more seasons. And that's one of the best deals you're going to get of any pass rusher, either available or, because we're going to have to trade for one. All of them are off the market. Every last one that I wanted in the preseason and in free agency is gone. They're all gone. Every last one. Josh Hines Allen, they're all gone. And aren't you glad we took Hutch over Trayvon Walker? Lord, I am. So I just don't, y'all been waiting on this video, man. I don't think, I would love for it to happen. I would be over the moon if it happened. This is a guy that is a warrior. You talking about bookend, man, him and Hutch, 98, 97, which is crazy because 97 is the year I graduated. We used to have a beef with 98, but could you imagine, man, that they are going back and forth and you would have to scheme out of this world to protect yourself from Hutch and Mad Max. Like, it would be crazy. So would I be opposed to it? I would not. Would I love for it to happen? I absolutely would, but I got to be real. I just don't think the Raiders, who hold all the power here, are going to be willing to lose their best offensive weapon in Davante Adams and then part with their best defensive weapon in Maxx Crosby. And I know Maxx Crosby, even at 29 years old, he is going to require a first-round pick, maybe more than that, which I am willing to give up for a guy of his caliber. We're at that point. I just don't think the Raiders nor Brad Holmes would do such a thing. But I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's go to the wide shot again. You guys saw that I got my green gridiron helmet yesterday. They are currently not in stock, but if when they come back in stock, I will definitely be the first to let you guys know. But they do have some mini helmets of the silver and blue with the blue face mask that is currently in stock. They also have the Speed Flex that is currently in stock of that same type as well. And the link in the description will take you right to their website. The promo code of LS24 will get you a discount off of your order as well. So consider doing that. I'm telling you, man, listen, the Lions, I was told that there are teams, some of them we hate, that their helmets are tough to keep in stock because they're so popular. That is becoming our team. Okay, so if you got a chance and you can use payment plans as well, because it's, we struggling, man. It's a struggle out here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to get you to spend money because I want to make money, right? Only spend it if you have it. And if you need to use a payment plan, feel right. I use a payment plan. I've used them a bunch of times, man, because I don't like parting with all that money at the same time, bruh. I just don't. So take advantage of these if you have the opportunity to do so. No pressure at all. But then you're going to thank me when you get it in. No, you see that, bro? You see that? And imagine if that guy's on this team. You see that, man? You gonna thank me. You're gonna be like, Derek, thank you, man, because I wasn't even thinking about that. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think that the Detroit Lions trade for Maxx Crosby? How would you feel? I'm sure all the answers are going to be like, over the moon. And what do you think the odds that the Raiders give him up? I just don't think they're very high. This channel is brought to you by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, but you choose to rock with me. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.